How's it, family? Welcome to the second show, second episode of our first week on the Panenka Pundit. You'll see today that we have a new member. His name is Skilly. We call him Skilly. His full name is Jacques Skilly Buerta. He is an Arsenal supporter. That is someone we lacked in our first show, first episode that came out. And we were a little bit harsh and we were a little bit bullies to the Arsenal team and what happened there. So today, Skilly's going to be here to defend himself. He's going to give us his 2 cents on how Arsenal's going to do this season and what's going to happen for them. So, Skilly, how are you, dude?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me. And you had all the reason to trash Arsenal in the first week. So they didn't put in the performance we all hoped for. But it is what it is. First game week, and there's still a lot of games to be played. And I truly think that they are the underdogs of the season for sure. And yes, there's a lot of pressure on them from the Arsenal fans, but from the Premier League and from the rivals, I think they've all written them off, as you all did last week as well. I think they're not even worried. They're not even being seen as a top 6 club at the moment, which could be beneficial for them definitely going forward into this season. And also the lack of European football will help them recover more easily and just go fresh into the games, hopefully going on for the rest of the season. So I do think they have a chance of sneaking into the top 6 definitely. And for me personally, I would say the guy's going to take the league is going to be United. I think United's going to win this one. To be quite honest, I think they've finally got the team together that Ali wanted. Then the rest of the top 6, I would say City, Liverpool, Leicester, Arsenal and Chelsea. I would say that's the one. I think Leicester's going to be in there. So let's see.
Can I interrupt here? So, Skilly, I really want to know. So I understand you said Man United's going to take the league. Louis also said that on the first episode. So I want to hear from you. Why? So you just said Leicester and then Chelsea. So do you mean Chelsea's going to end up 6? Is that what you said?
No. That was in no particular order. I didn't.
Okay. If you can, so there was. If you can.
Okay. So the next question. Okay. Cool. So let's go then for. I would say United first, City second, Chelsea third, Arsenal fourth, Liverpool fifth, and Leicester sixth. I've got to throw my own team in there. Come on, guys. I just said we have the underdog status. So, let's do it.
So, I remember that I put in Arsenal as number 6 in my prediction. And it was for the same reasons that you mentioned earlier, is that they don't have any European football. That can sometimes be a blessing, to build a team. It's not that much stress and pressure on a team. So, I think you guys are going to come 6. And
I want to comment, Ruan. I want to say, you guys are bragging about Arsenal not playing European football, but we've got 3 levels of European football now. So if you're not even in level number 3, then you had a horrible season last year. I also agree. I agree with you, Skilly. I say the underdog status, I think, is gonna count in your favor. Let's not talk about European football. Yes, that might be a blessing in disguise, but to have this underdog label at this stage with the amount of signings and the type of signings that Arsenal made, I don't think a lot of people are giving them a chance. So why not use this opportunity to be the underdog, and nobody's going to give you a chance, and then you just come out on match day and you show a couple of people what you can do. Not like you did against Brentford, but 37 games to go. So hopefully.
Yeah. No, definitely. I agree 100%. And it's actually quite amazing to see that they still made quite a few signings, and that people still think, players around the globe still think that Arsenal's a big club to play for. But it is a slippery slope at this stage. I think we are heading towards the dark side. I don't know how much longer the players are going to see it as a lucrative club that they want to go to. If it continues like this, there needs to be an upward curve in consistency and actually winning something and getting back into Europe again. At the end of the day, they are a big club and they want to be in Europe. That's where we want to be. So, yeah.
Okay. So on that topic there, we talked about the signings quickly. So this morning, I woke up, had my coffee, put on YouTube, and there was a talk show, I think it was the Talk Sport show that I watched. And they said Arsenal are very close to spending the 130 million so far in this window, but they've spent the money on a B team. Right. Is that correct? Do you think the spendings were good? Was it good signings that they made? And does it actually make the team stronger? Or do you think everybody's just continue laughing, 130 odd mil got spent and it doesn't really make the team stronger? Biggest reason why I say that and why I understand why they say it's at a B team is because you signed Odegaard now, correct? He was at loan with you last season and he scored 2 goals, right? And his time there. And Arsenal let go of Joe Willock to Newcastle, who scored 8 goals at his short time at Newcastle. So you signed a number 10 for a number 10 who was successful. Can you give me your opinion on that?
Yeah, no, that was definitely a hard one to swallow. I don't 100% know the reasoning behind that, because from what I've seen, the only reason I could think is that he felt out of favor with Arteta, because he's very harsh on the players if they're not wanting to fit into his philosophy. But yeah, from what one could see from behind the scenes and me following all the Arsenal stuff closely, is that Willock wasn't that kind of player and that he's always been an Arsenal man. So it was strange that he just all of a sudden fell out of Arteta's plans. So yeah, I'm just holding thumbs. And I said to you last week when we were just chatting, I said the only reason it would make sense for me is if we sign Odegaard, because I rate him highly and he's still very young. And even players like Cristiano Ronaldo said when he played with him, he said like, this kid is going to be big in the future. So, and we've seen glimpses of his amazingness at Arsenal. He's a really, really good number 10. Very, very creative player. So yeah, and he was, it was the first time for him playing in the Premier League, where Willock has been very well known with the Premier League for a while. So I think once Odegaard settles into the Premier League, he's going to be a really good player. So that's what I'm holding thumbs for, and hoping that we didn't make another massive mistake in letting one of the homegrown players go. So yeah,
Skilly, I want to ask you about that. So from a United point of view, for 7 years, let's call it 6 years, we had international managers coming in, big names, Mourinho, Van Gaal, and they kind of just got rid of the dead weight. Let's call it dead weight. Guys that came through the academy, guys that's been with United for very long, and Oli kind of changed the philosophy, and I don't think he changed the philosophy. I just think he went back to the philosophy like it was under Sir Alex. Yeah. Arteta is a Arsenal man through and through. Do you think by letting somebody like Willock go that's come through the ranks is a new philosophy? Do you think he's holding on to some things that Arsene Wenger did right in his time, or is it a new ball game for Arsenal in terms of signings?
It's interesting you touch on that, because in the past Arsenal have let go young guys for nothing, and so the club is also under pressure for, if you look at it from a financial point of view, to actually make profit of their youngsters coming through the ranks. So maybe that was him trying to prove a point that I can make profit of some of the young players, I don't know, and then showing that I'm signing a bigger name coming from Real Madrid or whatever, it might all be mind games that he's playing. So I think for him, he's also just finding his feet, I think he's been very lucky to be there for as long as he has already been, with the results that he's brought to the table. So, but yeah, I do think he's still an Arsenal man through and through, and you can see the glimpses of Wenger's philosophy that's coming through there. But yes, I think every manager will want to put down his own stamp as well going forward. So will it work? We don't know 100%, but I think he's trying to bring in a mix of the things that he learned from Pep as well, and combining it with the Arsenal's philosophy. And only time will show if that's going to be a winning combination. Yeah.
I think you have to touch on Ramsdale as well. The Ramsdale signing coming through. We're hearing that there's another keeper coming. I know Ruan and I spoke about it last week with Ivor about a goalkeeping crisis that's maybe heading the way of Arsenal. Letting Emi Martinez go, only having Leno. Well, let's call it a big name keeper in Leno. Do you think Ramsdale is the right signing?
Yes, man. I don't know. Like for the price that we're gonna pay for him, it's just ridiculous for a keeper that's not even in England's first 11. You know, like, so that's the hard pill to swallow. But I do guess the market's different. Prices are ridiculous where at this stage, so you can't really, if you compare it to the 100 mil of the Grealish signings and Lukaku signings, maybe, and if you think about a few years back, maybe it's not that much. I don't know. But yeah, it just feels like we definitely need backup there. Definitely need backup. So I wouldn't, it's difficult to see 30 million for a second choice keeper, you know, like that's not what you want to do. You'd rather want that money and push it into, you know, signing a brilliant striker or a winger or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's just what it is. We need the backup. We did let Martinez go. We can spend hours talking about what a stupid decision that was. But yeah.
So, well, sorry, Scully. So actually that you mentioned maybe buy another striker now. That was my next question for you, is that, don't you think, so it seems like Arteta is number 10 obsessed, or the club and the signings at the moment are number 10, obsessed. I think you missed out on buying a striker, which in this case everybody thought would be Tammy Abraham, because your other number 10 that you have is Emile Smith-Rowe, he was your best player last week, right?
Yeah.
Now Odegaard's coming in, so do you have 2 10s? I know he wants to put Willian as a 10. He has a huge contract. Is he going to stay even at the club? Is he even going to play? I think there's Arsenal or Arteta or whoever made the call might have slipped up, because they said a few times, we'll wait till the end of the transfer window before making these calls, because obviously it's easier and people are desperate to sell these people. They'll maybe negotiate the price, drop it a little bit. But do you think that you maybe missed out? I know you like Odegaard. Just explain to us why, and he's been good for you. But don't you think you maybe missed out on a I'm not going to say he's a world-class striker, but he's proven to score goals. I think he scored 26 goals at Aston Villa the last time he was here. You could definitely do with someone who could score 20 or 26 goals. Don't you think you missed out on him?
I just want to comment before Scully comments. I just want to say, Ron, we shouldn't discredit. They still have world-class players in Lacazette and Aubameyang. So I know, but that's scary. If you think of the lineup that they have, I agree with you. I think they should get the younger guys in, but they have the world-class players just not playing world-class football at this stage. Sorry, Scully, it's your team.
Well, here's what I think. You know, like I'm a massive Aubameyang fan. He's like you just said, he's a world-class striker. I do think the pressure is too much on him being the captain currently. Like he's not a leader in that sense. He's not an Arsenal leader, I would say. He does have glimpses of Henry's brilliance, but he doesn't have Henry's mentality. So I think that has broken down a lot in the Arsenal team. He's not leading from the front. And I'm not saying by scoring goals, by speaking to the guys. If you look at listen to the mics on the field and all of that, like he's not there, you know, where I think Aubameyang will be fine again if they strip him from the captaincy. We keep him, we let Lacazette go, and we swap him for someone else, something like that. Lacazette's getting older. He's not in his prime anymore. And then keep Aubameyang for another 2 seasons. Make Kieran Tierney the captain, and you're going to see if Tierney's the captain of the Arsenal squad, you are going to see a massive difference in that squad. That guy is solid at the back, and you can see he's passionate about winning. And he's not going to take it from anyone. You know, he's like Adams and Vieira. Like he's got that kind of balls to him. Where I don't think Aubameyang's too much about the swag. He just wants to celebrate the goals. Like that's what he needs to do. He doesn't want to talk to the guys if they're playing shit football. Like that's not what he does. So yeah, I think we'll be fine if something like that happens. But yeah, Aubameyang's, if he's not on form, his head hangs, and then it makes it difficult for the club to not, play him the next week because he's the captain. So it's difficult. But yeah, if he's going to keep on with that attitude, we do need to sign a new striker, definitely. And I think we missed out on Abraham, just to have him he's still a young guy, and going on, maybe in the next 2 seasons he could have replaced and became the main striker at Arsenal. So yeah, maybe we'll still have the Inter Milan signing coming in. What's the guy's name? The Italian forward. We've been linked with him. Sorry guys.
He played Martin. No, not Martin. No, he played next to Lukaku. We'll get to that point now. On the Chelsea. The Chelsea game happening this weekend with Arsenal, I quickly want to get a prediction from you. What's going to happen? What's the score going to be on that game? Because at the moment, it looks like it can be a morning. Chelsea can maybe win 3 or 4-0 because they just got Lukaku, but it's a derby. And you guys did the double over Chelsea last season, both occasions. First one was in December, if I remember correctly. Frank was still our manager, and I don't know what happened. You just walked all over us in that game, and that's when our downfall started. And then later in the season, it was 1-0 from a back pass from Jorginho, classic, to the keeper that fell a little bit. So you did the double, even though things weren't going good. Do you think Arsenal can beat Chelsea this weekend? What's your prediction?
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible that we can beat you. It's going to be a close one. I don't think we're going to see a result of 3-0 or 4-0 on either side. Not at all. I think coming off the back of the previous game week, where Arsenal now they do have a little something to prove now again, so they're going to come out all guns blazing, with something to prove to their manager and to everyone, to all the fans. So it's not going to be a walkover for Chelsea, definitely. I'm calling it 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. Okay, so I'm going to call it. It has the potential to be 4-0 Chelsea, but I think it's going to be. I'm going to call a 2-2 draw.
Okay, yeah.
Do you think Lukaku's going to start, Ruan? Do you think Lukaku's going to start?
My worry is not if Lukaku's going to start. My worry is if Kante is playing or not. So Kante is playing, I think it'll be a 2-1 game for us. But if he's not playing, at the moment it looks like he's not going to start, then I'd say 2-2. It's just he makes a massive difference in that team. So yeah.
I think I have to go Chelsea just based on signings and especially with Arsenal, the new guys only coming in now. Okay, Odegaard has played for them, but it's still kind of a new, let's call it a new player coming into the setup this week. If Lukaku starts, I don't think it will be a gamble. I just think they have enough guys up front that can start the game and rather bring him on 65 minutes. But yeah, I have to go Chelsea. I have to go 2-0. And just because of those youngsters in the strike force, I think they're going to be scary for a lot of teams in the Premier League.
Then on the Man United front, routine 3-0 for you guys against Southampton.
Listen, you don't go to Southampton and just take them on any day. United, for me, even though they're my team, I love them to bits. It still always freaks me out before game week because I don't think we've found the consistency in the last 8 years that we found under Sir Alex. So every week is stressful. But I think with our away record of last year, it is an away game. Let's say, I don't think 3-0. I think a 2-0. We're known for slipping goals. So let's hope for a 2-0. I think that's my prediction.
Yeah. Well,
Definitely.
that brings us to the end of our first midweek crisis show. Thank you guys so much for being here. Scully, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your opinion and talking to us. Everyone here is employed if you're watching the show, and we do other stuff. So we literally planned this show like this morning. Louis said this morning he can join in to talk about it in his work schedule, in my work schedule, in Scully's work schedule. So thank you guys for joining and sticking around. And hope you enjoy the rest of the week and the weekend's football. See you all next Sunday.